Hello everyone and welcome to the very first VHS Monster Maker video. Yes, that's right, I'm going to be making up ideas for monsters for VHS before the game even comes out. And, to start everything off right, I'm going to create a monster based off Hellbent Games' older classic, Wick. The poster was in the release trailer, so I have a feeling we'll be seeing these characters in some capacity in the game, but I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at figuring out how they will work in the game. But first, if you find this video fun and enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel to stay up to date on the content. You can now also follow me on Twitch, where I live stream Monday through Thursday and do my best to live stream on Friday. You can also support the channel by going to Patreon and becoming a Patreon for as little as $1 or as much as $10 a month. It will help me improve the channel and live stream as I continue to provide the best quality content for you going forward. I also have a new merch store where you can get shirts, hoodies, stickers, and even phone cases. Links to the store, the Patreon, Twitch, and my Twitter are in the description below. And now that that's all out of the way, let's make a monster. To start out with, the Wick crew comes with a unique mechanic in that any map they are played on is significantly darker than it would normally be, and the teens each start out with a lit candle. Teens can find more candles and matches to light them around the map, or they can transfer the flame from one candle to another. The brighter the area, the slower the Wick crew will be. But that's okay, because the Wick crew comes with a variety of abilities to keep the survivors on their toes, scrambling to keep things bright, while they also craft their weapons. Tim stealthily crawls along the ceiling and can press the primary ability button to drop down and pounce on a teen. If he misses, he can begin running after the teen for 10 seconds before he jumps back up to the ceiling. While running after the teen, he can use the secondary ability button to engage a sprint, which increases his movement speed by 50%. If Tim ends his 10 seconds on the ground where there isn't a ceiling, the monster player is shunted to the nearest other Wick member and Tim is teleported to a random location indoors. Tim's pounce has a 45-second cooldown, and his sprint has a 20-second cooldown. Next up is Lillian. Lillian floats above the ground and moves at the same speed as the teens. However, Lillian can teleport several yards forward with her primary ability button, or teleport a teen that she can target within range to a random location on the map with the secondary ability button. If Lillian teleports forward and a teen is within her range, she will automatically perform a jump attack in their direction. Lillian's personal teleport has a 15-second cooldown, and her teleport ability has a 30-second cooldown. Third on the list is Benjamin. Benjamin will always be sleeping, but will alert the monster player whenever a teen is in his general vicinity with a light by snoring. If a teen gets too close to him, Benjamin will wake up and face in the direction of the teen. Benjamin can activate a charge with the primary ability button, which makes him immune to damage for the duration and will stun any teen he hits for 3 seconds. Benjamin can also perform a pummel attack with his secondary ability button that will knock any weapon a teen is holding out of their hands. However, if the area gets dark enough, whether by the teens dropping their candles or the general area just being too dark, Benjamin will slow down considerably and go back to sleep. Benjamin's takedown charge has a 15-second cooldown, while his pummel has a 25-second cooldown. And finally comes Caleb. Whoa, but Tarvesh, I hear you saying, what about Tom? Don't worry, we have something special for Tom. But let's look at Caleb. Caleb is restricted to the ground floor of any map. He can't go up or downstairs, but he moves extremely quickly underground. His primary ability button allows him to burst up from the ground and attack a teen. Whether he hits or misses, he immediately dives back down into the ground. His secondary ability activates his tremor sense. Any teens moving on the ground floor of the map will have their locations revealed by small echo points that are brighter and larger the closer they are. This tremor sense lasts for 12 seconds. Caleb's burst ability has a 20-second cooldown, while his tremor sense has a 55-second cooldown. Similar to the Dollmaster, the monster player can swap between kids using the Q button. This swap has a 30-second cooldown, encouraging the player to think strategically about which Wick member they need to be on at any given time. But Tarvesh, I hear you saying, you still haven't said anything about Tom, and you know what? You're right, but I also haven't said anything about a basic attack either. If you've noticed, each member of the Wick crew attacks the teens with their abilities and not with their basic attack button. This is because the Wick crew cannot do basic attacks. Instead, the basic attack button is reserved to place a Tom image somewhere on the map. A total of 5 Tom images can be placed on the map at any given time. When a teen gets too close, Tom's image jumps out at them and causes them to scream, revealing their location for 3 seconds. If they're carrying a candle, they immediately drop their candle and cannot pick up another one for another 10 seconds. Once a Tom image has scared a teen, it disappears and the Wick player can place a new one. Now, you may be thinking this would be easy to avoid, but keep in mind that the maps are all much darker, and in order to get around most of the areas, the teens will need their candles. So, placing Tom images around the map in a corner, or in a hallway, or a doorway to trigger its effects isn't as difficult or unlikely as it sounds. Now, what would a Monster Maker video be without a teen and a map? Not a very good one, I'd say. So, for the teen, we're going to be bringing back Sam, who is the protagonist in Wick, and who also happens to be a teenager in the game. Now, I haven't had access to look at teen perks or anything of the such, so this is going to be a very short generalization of what I believe Sam would bring to the table. So here we go. Sam is a long-standing member of the Video Horror Society. He joined up after his encounter with the spirits of dead children out in the deep woods during what was supposed to be a prank, but ended up being a very real struggle for his life. Since then, Sam has recovered from the trauma and has come away with a real sense of self-assurance and determination. The encounter left him with a fascination with all things macabre, so he has engrossed himself in horror movies and books, everything from the classic to the silly. His favorite classic trilogy is the Spectre Collector series, and his potential is that of a leader. Experience and knowledge allows him to show his team the way. With grim determination, he keeps others focused on their goals and the steps needed to get through any situation. His leader perks focus on helping his squad find optimal routes and using the equipment they have to prepare fresh supplies that will last longer. Essentially, Sam would have a small trail of light when pinging in an area that others could follow, and increase the speed of other teens, creating weapons at the cost of a weapon he's using losing its charges to the point that it can actually disappear. So he has to make something and then allow the other teens to essentially break it down to make theirs faster. He's a small losses for greater gains character who knows that you have to sometimes make sacrifices in order to survive. Coming along in the Monster Maker is also the Wick and Sam's home turf, the Deep Forest. While the area in the game of Wick was a bit sparse, it would receive the full treatment in VHS. The summer camp would provide several small buildings to include bunkhouses, a cafeteria, an event hall, and a sports field. The settlement would have more dilapidated, unfinished houses, while the woodshed would retain most of its rundown rustic charm. The bridge, bus, well, and sofa also make their appearances, as with the water tower, which would leak and groan as if it were ready to topple over. Dim lighting, thick fog, and the whispers of Wick children and their ghostly footsteps, even when they aren't the monster, would all help to solidify the map's atmosphere. And there you have it, the first Monster Maker video for VHS. What do you think? Do you like the idea of the Wick children and Sam coming to VHS? Do you think the variety of abilities would make an interesting and dynamic playstyle? Do you think I'm completely bonkers and have better ideas? If so, let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to know what you think. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Monster Maker. If you did, consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel for more, and maybe make suggestions for more Monster Maker videos, like what kind of new monster I should do next. I hope you all have a great day, and as always, stay positive.